Hey guys, it's Mookie Ookie here, and today is the day that I bring you guys the project that I've been working on, one of the ideas I was brainstorming during my downtime, and I'm excited. So, none of this is set into stone, the format, by the way, so some things are bound to change. The name might change. I think I'll do a poll and leave it up to y'all because this is just as much your thing and your piece of history as it is mine, and I hope you guys are as excited to see it as I am. So, during the downtime, during quarantine or whatever, I had been spending a lot of time on YouTube. And my YouTube algorithm had recommended me an old black movie, a bunch of old black movies starring black actors and blaxploitation films. And I actually like them. Like, despite, the low quality or whatever, they don't make movies like these anymore. Ones with really powerful messages or like really good music or something that like hits you, something that feels familiar about it and like just like connects with you, like hits you. So I decided to share this with other people and get other inputs and give you guys resources because I feel like a lot of these movies deserve more attention. And, it's nice to see how modern day movies starring black actors and black directors and such have evolved from these pieces because, as everyone knows, they're not going to bring this up in history and no one gives us the credit that we deserve. But back on the topic. So, for today's movie, me and a couple of my friends watched the movie Black Girl. It was a play written by Miss J.E. Franklin in 1969. She also had works like The Prodigal Sister, a new black musical. It was directed by Mr. Rayford Chapman Ossie Davis, who is an American film, television, and Broadway actor, director, poet, playwright, author, and civil rights activist. That was a mouthful, but you know what? I think that's so cool that he is so accomplished and has like dabbled in a lot of different art forms and media forms. I'm sorry, I'm like nerding out. I'm really excited about this. He also made works such as Billy, Portrait of a Street Kid, that came out in 1977, and he also made Roots, The Next Generation, 1979, as well as Malcolm X, 1992. I'll put it up in a poll, but those are some films that I hope to get around to sometime in the future, but I'll leave that up to you. In this movie, it stars Billie Jean, played by Miss Peggy Petite, who's the youngest in the family. I don't remember if they ever mentioned the family's last name, and it's a bit ambiguous, but you'll see why in the future, right? Now, it starts out with Miss Billie Jean, a dark-skinned black girl, very pretty, very clear skin, with short, natural hair. It's close to her head. I was kind of surprised. I'm sorry. But, like, something I noticed is that I was really surprised that they had so much natural hair playing in this movie. Like, I always figured that they would have, like, perms or, like, wigs, But that's for another time. Whatever. So Miss Billie Jean is going and she's working at a bar. And at the moment, she's, like, your, I guess, average modern-day tomboy. She wears, like, jeans, bell-bottom jeans, and a t-shirt. And at this club, there is a girl dancing on stage. She's not doing, like, anything super provocative, but like you can tell she's there for like the men's entertainment. Well, our Miss Billie Jean is a very passionate dancer. She doesn't do provocative dances. She does like a mix of ballet, but it seems to have African movements in it. Either way, like sis be getting it. Okay, she be feeling the music. It's the shoulders for me. Like I would vibe with her so well. Anyway, she talks to her manager and she's like, oh, I can dance. I want to go up on stage. And at first he kind of laughs at her because, the men probably won't be all that interested in her because she's not really showing that much skin. She kind of has like a boyish figure. Like she's not super curvy, which is perfectly fine. Okay. Like side note, little PSA. Look, whether you have a big booty or a little booty, fake booty or real jello, own it. That is yours. Be glad. Okay. Back to the movie. Anyway, she comes up, she goes ahead and tells her manager, like, look, I can dance. Give me a chance. Okay? Like, I can do this. So the pretty dancing girl, who, by the way, I don't know if I'm looking too into this because I read a book about the significance of black hair in America and how, straight hair was so sought after and stuff. I can do a book review over it later. But I noticed that the pretty girl, well, not pretty because they're both beautiful in their own way, but like the dancing girl, she had like thick straightened hair. Like, I don't know if it was a wig or not. And that's kind of funny because given like back then wig technology wasn't as advanced as it was now. But I was like, maybe it was like extensions or something. But either way, that was something I noticed. Back to the story. So Miss Billie Jean goes and changes into like this baby blue skirt. And like she goes and she does her little dancing thing. She's doing her thing. She's feeling the music. And to be honest, this part I was kind of confused because the men were kind of like, they were laughing at her obviously, but like they liked it. Like her manager wasn't like telling her to get off the stage or like to stop dancing, right? But she was obviously being kind of ridiculed. But then the men kind of got up and danced with her. I don't know. I'll put the link to the movie down in the description box and you can watch the first like 20 minutes and, tell me what you think about it. But anyway, she sneaks back home, back into her house, because you later learn that her mother, Mama Rose, who's played by Miss Louise Stubbs. I don't know if it's Louis or Louise Stubbs. But yeah, Mama Rosie doesn't know that she has a job. And you also later find out that Miss Billie Jean stopped going to school. I'm assuming that she's a senior here because of reasons that'll come up later. But she stops going to school. Well, she goes into her room, and the way the house is set up is kind of interesting. Okay? There is Mama Rosie, who's Billie Jean's mother. Billie Jean has two sisters, both older. One is pregnant and the other one isn't. I can't remember their names for the life of me, but just know I don't like either one of them. They are so negative, just terrible energy. They just, throughout the whole movie, I just wanted to smack both of them in the mouth because they are so disrespectful. The taller one, who I think is the oldest actually, she is a snitch. She be telling everybody business, but let me reel it back in. This is not what it's about. I'm sorry, let me try this sentence again. Miss Billie Jean, her room is situated in the middle of the house, right? And there's two doors, one on opposite sides. If you're standing in her room, the door to the right opens into like this little kitchen area. The door to the left opens into like the living room, and people like to go through the room. Like there's two beds in the room. Like I'll have to insert a picture. I'll probably put it in now for you to be able to understand it because I don't know how to describe it because I've never seen a room set up like this before, and I think it's supposed to mean something. What it means, I haven't figured it out yet. Anyway, she sneaks back in because her mother doesn't know that she has a job or that she's dropped out of school. Her older sister ends up telling everything to Mama Rosie, who essentially throws a fit, and she's mad and she's disappointed because now all three girls are out of school and one of them is pregnant and the other one has two kids. The two kids are bad. They don't respect Billie Jean. And like I said before, Billie Jean is very passionate. She loves music. She loves dancing. But nobody supports her. Nobody except for Netta. Netta is the oldest one. The oldest of Mama Rose's daughters. But here's the thing. She's an adopted daughter. And you learn that Mama Rose likes to take in like troubled youth and give them like care and kind of mother them and help them. And this is what she's done with Netta because her own mother is kind of like the town crazy person. Like there's a scene where she's walking down the street and like she's wearing like a bonnet and she just looks weird. She's out of it. She doesn't really interact with anyone. She doesn't really respond to much of anything, right? So Mama Rosie took it upon herself to take Netta in and take care of her. At the moment, Netta is the only one who graduated high school, and there's a picture of her on top of the TV in the living room where that Mama Rosie likes to grab and like brag to everyone about, because Netta is her favorite child. She loves her. In a way, she's kind of like living through Netta and like holds her self-worth because she helped Netta. She doesn't respect her other three daughters. She's always disappointed in them. She never expects much out of them. Nothing like that. And with, can you imagine a situation where like your mom just gives up on you and invests all her time into another child, and like she's not even subtle about it? Like it creates this weird toxic environment where because the mom gave up on her kids, the kids kind of gave up on themselves. And because Billie Jean is still passionate and still like hopeful and young and she hasn't been knocked up yet, the two older sisters are kind of trying to bring her down, kind of like a crab mentality. It's so sad, so frustrating. Like Billie Jean needs some friends. Like I don't think she has any friends. Her and Netta were kind of close. It's insinuated that they were close before Netta went off to college, which is where she was at for the first three quarters of the movie. She's going to a fancy white college. They don't say what college it is, but the two bitter sisters, that's what I'm gonna call them, bitter sisters, because they're full of BS. But the two bitter sisters refer to her school as the fancy rich white college. She's gotten there on scholarship. She's very smart. She's going there to learn how to be a teacher, and then she's going to come back and teach the kids in her community. Good for her. The only problem is that Mama Rosie ends up calling Netta at college, and she mentions that, you didn't come home for Thanksgiving. You didn't come home for Christmas, like, why don't you come down and see us? It's never explicitly stated or explained why Netta, by the way, Netta is played by Leslie Uggams, I think that's how you say it. Netta never explicitly says why she doesn't want to come down, but I think it's because of guilt. Like, she's not this woman's daughter, but she's taking better care of her than she is of her own children. That might bring guilt to her, but I don't know. That's kind of my interpretation of it, right? So she says that she'll come down for Mother's Day, right? And Mama Rosie gets all excited. Well, later, which I'm sorry, hold up. Let me retry. The timing of this movie, I think, takes place in like 3 or 4 days, because like for the first half of the movie, everyone's wearing the same outfits. Mama Rosie changes into like this fancy marble pattern pink and white dress whenever essentially her baby daddy basically comes into town in like one of those old Cadillacs, right? And his blatantly showing off his money. But this kind of shows another side to Mama Rosie. Like, it makes the bitter sisters look worse, because as soon as they come through the door, they're like all asking him for money and playing around and like, oh, daddy, give me money, all this stuff, right? And you can see where the bitter sisters learn how to be the way they are, and it makes Mama Rosie look so bad to me, like such a gold digger, like so superficial, because she acts like she's better than everyone else and all high and mighty just because of Netta. Like for all we know, Mama Rosie herself never graduated college. She's not married. She never got married, but she has 3 kids. And you later learn that during the scene where the father comes home, he's handing out money to everyone. He gives the 2 bitter sisters money. He gives Mama Rosie money, and he gives the 2 grandkids money. Well, Mama Rosie turns to Billie Jean, who's standing off in the corner, and she's kind of upset and bitter because the 2 little kids had been running in and out of her room. They've been like snitching on her. They've been disrespecting her, like I've said before, and they ended up breaking one of her favorite records, which was what she was practicing to. Well, she's like in the corner, and once they bring attention to her, everyone starts like ridiculing her, like, oh, well, she wants to go and shake tail and dance and da-da-da-da, right? And Billie Jean doesn't really say much in her defense, and I think it's so terrible. Like, all this verbal abuse just needs to stop. But Mama Rosie tells her, like, stop being bitter, come and get some of this money. And the father switches it real quick. He's like, oh, I'm not, giving money to everyone's kid off the street. And this is when you learn that Billie Jean has a separate father. She's not related completely to the Bitter sisters, which does explain some things, because I was wondering why she was taller than one of her older sisters, the pregnant one. But now it kind of makes sense, because if she has a different father, she would have different genes. Or maybe I'm just reading too much into this. I don't know. Either way, this kind of like irks Mama Rosie, and she was all like, oh, well, you're not gonna come in here and give people money and not give everybody money, da 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 da. And like the father is getting frustrated, and he's all like, well, why doesn't they have some type of argument? I can't remember word for word, but like they end up having an argument, and Mama Rosie and this dude's relationship is just terrible. Like, I'm gonna call this man, what am I gonna call him? I think I'm gonna call him slow playing, SP, because he flashes all his money, but he comes off as superficial. Like, we don't learn much about his history. What we do know is that whatever they have going on between them, Mama Rosie and SP, is toxic, and it's just, no, I hope to never be in the situation. I would never wish this situation on anything else, because like, it's not physical abuse, but like, in a way, they're both kind of like leeching off each other. Mama Rosie wants his money, but also you learn as like they're walking around and having a talk and sort of giving us exposition that she wants to be married. She like loves him, but the reason why she went with Billie Jean's dad was because SP was playing around in Seattle, I think, with like a whole bunch of different girls and disrespecting her. And he got mad whenever she went off. He wants her to always be available and always be at his beck and call, but doesn't want to settle down. And like their last conversation, it implies that like their relationship is over, which good for her. The mother did not need that. He was rude, he was disrespectful. And then even if that wasn't your kid, I feel like you should never make it obvious that they're like the ugly duckling, the odd one out. Like, it's not her fault. Just treat your kids equally, please. But that's just my 2 cents. So the Mama Rosie gets kind of bitter about it. And, before they have their last conversation where they essentially break it off, she brings up Netta again, and she's bragging like, oh, she's my smart daughter, the one you don't know about. And the SP is like, oh, you're taking in all these girls or whatever, doing it for free, when I could put you up in this house or whatever. It just further shows how much value that she places in Netta and like all the high expectations of her and whatnot. But like, she doesn't expect the same from her own daughters. I think it's because she sees herself in them, because the two Bitter sisters, I know at least one of them is married, but they both have relationships and families, and they have their own houses, but for this entire movie, they're always at Mama Rosie's house. And now that I think about it, Mama Rosie has a room. Mama Rosie's mother, aka Big Mama, who plays a bigger part at the end of the movie, is there with the room that she's sharing with Mr. Nelson, I think. Who's a respectful man. He's an OG. I respect him so much, because whenever they were making fun of Billie Jean, he didn't say too much, but he was like, you shouldn't say this stuff in front of a lady like this. That's disrespectful. Anyway, but like there's no other rooms for the Bitter sisters to be saying in, so like it kind of confused me for a little bit. But yeah, then the real conflict comes, right? So, like I said before, the reason why I called these two girls the Bitter sisters is because they've been essentially like hating on Billie Jean this entire movie. It turns out they've been going through the mail, and Netta had been sending letters both to Mama Rosie and to Billie Jean, because like I said before, it's insinuated that they were friends. Netta had sent Billie Jean an application for school because they were looking for like dancers and something like that, which is a real friend. Real friends do that for you. And but she never got it because the two sisters had in a way intercepted the mail. So like nobody ever, Mama Rosie and Billie Jean never got their letters from Netta. And they played it off as some type of like sick and twisted joke. And like this part made me kind of mad because like I felt like Billie Jean should have been more suspicious whenever they switched up and were like trying to be nice and sisterly to her after like basically bullying her and like hating on her and her dreams or whatever the entire movie. And all of a sudden they want to come to her and be like, oh, you know you have about like a year left. Mama is saying, well, I thought she was gonna tell you, but Mama said that you need to get married or find a new place to live by next year because Ned is coming down. She's gonna take over your whole room. And somehow they convinced her. So Billie Jean is now like on their side, and like she makes a comment of, oh, I'll burn this room down before I give it to anybody else, because that's essentially her safe spot. The only place in the house where she can like dance freely and listen to her music and like truly be herself in comfort, unless the kids are running around. Because I swear to God, those kids, like, they weren't really bad, but like I could understand what she was saying about them, right? So they hatched this plan where essentially Netta comes down, and she was supposed to be getting picked up, but she had to take a taxi because once again Mama Rosie never got her letters. And she arrived at the house, and the two bitter sisters humiliated her and made fun of her and her mother. And the tall, skinny one whips out a knife and is all like, you know, going off on her like, who do you think you are? Why the hell are you calling mother mama? And like, you know, just going off on her. And Netta's like really, she isn't hurt by the other two, not too much, because I guess she can see like they've always been like that. But she's really hurt by like Billie Jean, and she's like, you know, you promised me you wouldn't change, but you know, you really changed. What happened? And Billie Jean finds out that like the bitter sisters played her too, because Netta didn't change. Netta was trying to help her get out of this toxic environment, but the bitter sisters weren't trying to let her do that. They put her in a awkward situation where she had to choose between family or like a happier future, right? So she apologizes. She's like, I didn't know. And the bitter sisters like turn on her so quick, so fake, I'm telling you. Oh my God. And they're like, oh, you know, don't you think it's so stupid to go to school and do what like anybody can do? You know, that 8-year-old down the street can do those same you know, hooligan dances you can do. And Billie Jean was like, yeah, that's because I taught him how to do it. And so Netta's getting up to leave, and before she leaves, she's like, you know, Billie Jean, did you really teach that kid how to dance? And Billie Jean nods, and Netta goes, I wish I could teach someone how to dance. And then there's a scene where the final scene, well, not final scene, like the second or third to last scene is like Mama Rosie and the two bitter sisters sitting in the living room, and they're talking about Billie Jean and how she's changed, how she's disrespectful and whatnot. And they decided to call the truancy officer and like try to get her sorted out, all because she said she wanted to go to college. Ridiculous, right? They're holding her down when Big Mama comes out, and she's all like, you know, unhand the child. She wants to do better with her life. And she like goes off on Mama Rosie, who's bitter because Mama Rosie was given to her aunt to be raised, and she never forgave Big Mama. And so like she like holds this resentment in her heart for her and blames everything on that. And Big Mama finally gets through to Mama Rosie, and you know, she kind of accepts the fact that like, I need to move on, I need to let go. And they end up going to church, and there at church is the first time that Mama Rosie has seen Netta, and she's all surprised, and she's like kind of like offended, like, well, why didn't you come and see me, you know, and Netta finally goes off on her like, I'm not your daughter. She's my mother, and I ran away once because I wasn't strong enough. I'm not doing it again. Gets all excited, and she goes and takes care of her mother. And Mama Rosie's all hurt at this point, affronted or whatever. Letter came and she goes outside the church, and previously she gets a letter from someone as well, and it's so she kind of, I think it's from
shoves aside SP because it has some weak bars
from this mystery man.
Some basic love poem I can't remember, but that's where Billie Jean is. Billie Jean is still inside the church, and she's talking with Netta, and Netta is giving her like this yellow envelope, which I think either has money or an application into it. Well, Mama Rosie sends the two bitter sisters back inside, which now that you think about it, this is sort of like a Cinderella story, but there's another Cinderella movie I wanted to discuss on this channel. Sorry. She sends the two bitter sisters back inside, and all three of them witness this exchange with the envelope, and then that leads to the scene where all three women, the bitter sisters and Mama Rosie, are sitting in the living room, all talking about what's going on with Billie Jean and how she's changed, and her mind is, not in the right place. Like, any of them know what they're doing, or they're in a better position, or they have their life together. Yeah, I'm sorry, I told this out of order and it got confused. But the ending credit is Billie Jean gets herself together. She finishes school, the only one out of her family to do so, and she's heading off to college. Mama Rosie, whenever Billie Jean is, trying to talk to her through her bedroom door, because Mama Rosie's locked herself in her room and she's on her bed fully dressed, she won't come out yet. And, she's like, oh, it'll take me, like 8 hours to get there because she's going to college by taxi. And Big Mom is waiting for her at the door, and she's like happy, she's proud of her. And Billie Jean is wearing like this pretty blue dress, the same blue as the background of this picture. And, she's about to leave when Mama Rosie comes out, and she says something along the lines of, I've never had to apologize to anyone in my life. I've never had to apologize. But just know I love you and I'm proud of you. And, well, she doesn't say that exactly, but like that's the sentiment you get. And she's like, call me whenever you get there. And then they all walk her out. She goes down to the taxi, and Mr. Nelson opens the door for her. And then they stand on the porch and watch her drive off into the sunset. You don't see the bitter sisters anywhere in this scene. And I think that's a good thing. Because, like, the way their characters are written, I honestly do not care about what happens to them. Like, Billie Jean does not need them in her life because they were not supporting her. They need to get themselves together, and it was a good movie. I liked it. I gave it like a 8 out of 10. I feel like I want to read the play adaptation of it, but that might be for another time, maybe another series. I know this is out of order. I know this is like a first time, a crash course. I messed up some places. I kind of confused you guys, but this was fun. I was excited. So I would like it if you guys could like leave suggestions, leave your thoughts and opinions, shout out a good friend, and be patient, be kind, be loving, wash your hands and wear a mask, and we'll get through this together.